Qingfeng, bring us to our chambers to change our clothes. We want to look for the Prime Minister personally.
No.
Understood. Even though he's... Okay, sorry, hang on. So, language-wise, he just went, no. So yes, welcome. I haven't played one of these games in a long time, so this should be interesting. The last one I played was, I think, Code Realize? So basically, as I go through this, you guys are gonna have a lot of say in what I do. Have fun, because this can go a few different ways. Okay, I like the bunny. It's actually a really cute bunny. Oh, well, gotta read. In a time of myths and legends, under the mandate of the heaven, King Wu overthrew the corrupt King Yu and started the Zhou dynasty of peace and prosperity. The good king secretly created the golden script to communicate with the gods and the demons. He took a sacred vow with the heavens in exchange for the divine right to rule. His government would be one of virtue. I should have started reading this quicker. Using the golden script, he carved a vow into a large bronze vessel. Okay, I can take a moment. Whew. It was scrolling so fast, I was like, oh god, I gotta read. Ah! Using the golden script, he carved this vow into a large bronze vessel, the Ding of Virtue. I hear that and I think of EverQuest with the level up, which is like, ding! The vow and the ding. I'm not going to be able to get over calling it the ding. Were passed down through generations of kings until it came into the hands of the corrupt King Ping, Mulan, excuse you, who broke the vow and lost the ding. I'm sorry, I can't take this seriously just because it's like King Ping and lost the ding. The secret existence of the golden script then came to light, and the peace and prosperity of the Zhou dynasty started to wane as the lands broke into smaller warring states. A time of chaos and turmoil has returned to the countries prepared for yet another war. All this because someone lost the ding. Okay. We gotta figure out a name. Throw me some names. Wait, Bing. My name will be Bing. G. Bing Bing. There's the name. Nickname. Bing. There. It won't let me use those names! No! Akali. G. Akali. Akali. Okay, there we go. In a time of legend, the land of war is the destiny of a great kingdom falls on the shoulders of a young girl. She's fated to ascend to the throne of... Wah. And fulfill the long-standing wish of her forefathers. Okay. All the different characters! I can't read the names at all. Well, I kinda can. Oh, well, spoilers! Right there! Spoilers right there! Okay. It's a cool intro, though. Okay. The darkening skies that foretell the coming of impending rain feel rather suffocating. Before a large rectangular bronze ding, we're back to this, the head priest and head priestess lead a liturgical procession headed by my royal father, Hilu, and all members of his household, including my brothers and I. We will soon be executing the dragon god that our country has worshipped for generations. We're just casually executing a god. This is fine. I clenched the jade fish amulet that Yi Wang lent me for protection as I steel myself. I am going to butcher all of these names. If we fail to execute the dragon god here, we will be able to seal him on Tiger Hill, so we're going to try and kill him. My father, the king, takes the incense from the head priest and bows reverently to the sacred ding. Sorry, every time I hear the ding, like, I know it's like a legit thing, but it's still just kind of slowly killing me. There is no way for my father to withdraw from this battle. You're gonna die. Oh. Just full-on Chinese. I was not expecting that. The dragon god needs to die. We cannot afford to fail. For if we do, he will obliterate the kingdom of... I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Pull yourself together, Akali. You are, after all, the royal princess of... I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. The royal princess of... Okay. I quietly tell myself. We already have such pretty characters in this game. I was not expecting this. The priestesses start their ritual chants. Like the smoke from a burning incense, the sound of their chanting drifts away on the wind towards the lake. This is my first time seeing the sacred transcending fish dance. I am entranced. Okay. Good for you. Fu Chai gently tugs at my sleeve to make me realize that our two older brothers have already walked forwards, reaching into the ding, and are now placing something onto their lips. It's blood. Oh. Well. Staring at the red, viscous liquid in the bronze ding, I feel a sense of dreaded apprehension in the pit of my stomach. I quickly touch some of the blood to my lips. That strange, greasy feeling still lingers on my fingertips. Together with the crowd, I start to chant the words of our vow with a troubled heart. Slaying a god, what an insane motion. That is pretty insane. You know, we're starting a game, and most of these things are supposed to start out, you know, relatively chill. You might have a kidnapping or something like that, but they always get saved and so on and so forth. No, we're just going full on, hey, let's slay this god. As the head priest and priestess dance, the banners start to flutter in the wind. The golden beam pierces the dark clouds, breaking them apart to reveal a clear, bright autumn sky. A black arrow flies through the sky and lands at my father's feet. Oh. That music changed, though. Over 100 black-robed priests surround the altar. You're shameless, Hilu. You dare betray the dragon god and break the sacred vow that your ancestors have kept with him. My ancestors and I have been following the righteous way of heaven when the dragon god deceived us. Without any hesitation, my father draws out his sword. At the altar, the black and white figures intertwine in the chaos to create a third color, red. As blood flows like water into the lake, I can hear rumbling sounds from all four corners of the lake, like that of a monster leaping out of the water. There's all the blood! Oh, hello. This is my first time I've ever laid eyes on the dragon god. As I stand before this absolute power, I feel so insignificant. It feels like an offense. I am caught off guard when the head priestess pulls me away and into the bosoms of my older brothers before calling forth her magical swords of water. Today you will taste the divine power of the dragon god. Oh. Well, he did. That was a rather anticlimactic end to that guy. He really didn't do much. My father gives a roar of anguish that resounds in all directions as the phrase, "We failed to kill the dragon god," shrills repeatedly in my ears. He's like, hey, your sons are dead. Enjoy the despair and defeat before you die. Ah! The dead bodies of my brothers are suspended by the columns of brackish water. Oof. A severed pinky lands at my feet. Which of my brothers did this belong to? This is a very bloody opening. I cannot endure it any longer and throw up on the ground. Trying hard to contain her grief, the head priestess calls forth an ice blade that pierces through the sacred ding. Spirit of the ding, obey me. Capture the dragon. I don't think it's gonna listen. A bright white light emits from the belly of the ding and transforms into a large, ferocious tiger. It pins down the head of the dragon inside the vessel and shatters it into tiny pieces. A terrifying dragon, like a dying fish, lies on the altar, twitching weakly and helplessly. Its colossal body quickly disintegrates, giving off a strong stink of rotten fish. From behind Mei Zhang, my father cuts his head off cleanly with a blow of his sword. The descendants of the betrayer will be cast out. This evil deed that you've done today will be avenged 1,000 times over. Saying this, Mei Zhang's head explodes? His head just went... Droplets of his blood turn into blades as they fly at me. What sorcery is this? My mind goes blank. The blades of blood fall short less than a few inches away as I unconsciously clutch the amulet with only one name on my lips. Oh. Yiwang. Okay. Hey, look! We made it to chapter 1! My liege. Chengfeng, is that you? I like the voice. My liege, you were talking in your sleep again. Okay. With trembling hands, I search for the thing that I need so desperately. Where is it? Where could it be? My liege, the jade fish is over there. My fish! My fish! They saved me from everything! My fish! I press the amulet to my chest and its icy coldness slowly eases the pain until it completely fades away. When my loyal guard sees my pale and exhausted expression, he gently continues to wipe away my cold sweat. Although he and I are long used to these situations, what feels really out of place is the dream that I just had. Chengfeng's loyalty is unquestionable, but we both know that this burden is mine alone to bear. Chengfeng, do you think that there's a problem with the seal? Could that be why the former king and our older siblings have entered our dreams, urging us to break the sacred vow as soon as possible? The only reason why you're having this dream is because the death anniversary of the former king is drawing nearer. My liege, I think it might be better for you to take a break today, as you were quite distressed by what happened yesterday. Chengfeng assists me as I walk up to the throne. Prime Minister, tell us what is on today's agenda. Your Majesty, Prime Minister, Wu is not in court today. What happened to your eyes? Excuse me, sir. Where are your eyes? I don't like that. Yesterday, Prime Minister Wu was full of vigor as he debated with me what kind of illness could he possibly have today. Ha, if you can lose your Prime Minister in your kingdom's capital, then it is no wonder why you can't find our low-ranking officer. How dare you intrude on the court of It was your king who had agreed to let me search for my kingdom's missing officer in Gushu City. It is my sincerest wish that the kingdoms of and Qi become close allies. And that was why I approached your majesty on the topic of marriage. Ing. Okay. That makes more sense. Ing. I'll roll with it and we'll just see what happens. How long is your majesty going to endure this mistreatment? We have treated you and your men as distinguished guests, fed you the same food as we eat, and have even ignored the fact that you have intruded on our court. Yet you scorn and humiliate us in front of all of our ministers and officers. How dare you, Gong Sung-yi? Before I can finish my sentence, everyone in the room has their hands on the hilts of their swords. Gong Sung-yi recollects himself and he bows to me with a hand-on-hand salute. It is I, the foreign envoy, who was rude.
师宗史官乃我世教，盼大王宽宏大度。
The missing officer is a family friend, so I hope that your majesty would be gracious enough to forgive me for taking things too far. Fine, it is only natural your heart would be troubled when such situations arise. Mr. Gongsun, in admiration for your loyalty, we will let you off this one time. But next time we hope that you will be more discerning over what is more important. I heave a sigh of relief as I see Gongsun Yi leave. My body crumples involuntarily where I sit. A pair of familiar hands steady me as a calm voice drifts to my ears. He's back! Now here's one of the protagonists, I think. Before the court was called to session, an attendant in white paid a visit to the Prime Minister. After that, the Prime Minister had rushed out of the city. Qingfeng, bring us to our chambers to change our clothes. We want to look for the Prime Minister personally.
No.
Understood. Even though he's... Okay, sorry, hang on. So, language-wise, he just went, no. I want to go look for him personally. No. No, he said understood. My liege, your clothes are soaked in sweat. Please rest in the palace instead. If our clothes are wet, then all we need to do is change into dry ones. Help us change our clothes. Okay, so there's the tattoo thing, and we got some inner boob action here. I spread my arms in front of the mirror to reveal my pale, thin body with hard lines and scars from years of practicing martial arts. Look, this body has been ruined beyond recognition. There isn't an ounce of womanly features left. Only a man can continue the family name. As long as I keep pretending to be a man, the kingdom of Ung can continue for generations to come. My liege, why do you despise yourself so? They are so hard on themselves, oh my god! There's so much depression! Myself, I no longer have a sense of self. Perhaps we will need to take a wife and have sons in a few months' time. Shangfeng, do you think the sacred seal on my chest has changed a bit of its color? I have never looked carefully at it. Forget it. Once it turns completely black, our death will be imminent. Your Majesty, what is it? The Prime Minister has sent you a message. Our missing Prime Minister has sent us a letter. There is a change at the temple. Come quickly to Tiger Hill. Away we go! Your Majesty, has something happened over here? Prime Minister Wu has ordered us to watch over the prisoner here in the caretaker's hut. He is suspected of murder. The Prime Minister has ordered that the prisoner not be allowed to talk to anyone. Just shut up, punch! Everything goes silent inside the house. Although I do not rush headfirst into things, I cannot sit idly by and do nothing, right? Till we have all the details, no one is to treat the suspect so harshly.
No.
Understood. Turn around to see a pair of fierce, majestic eyes looking right at me. A white-haired man reins in his horse and looks down at me from its back. So, here is husbando number 2. Got the second one here. Prime Minister. Oh, so this is the Prime Minister. Is this the appropriate time for you to concern yourself with that vicious ingrate, my liege? You heard us. Gozhong is still the Lord of View, after all. Let's not go overboard. Wu Shizu hardens his expression and throws me unceremoniously on the back of his horse. Prime Minister?
Shenfeng,
Shenfeng, follow me. Wu Shizu starts out in a gallop as he heads to the temple on top of the hill. I notice then that Wu Shizu's hand is stained with dried blood. Are you hurt? This is the blood of the head priest. Is that the reason why you left the city at dawn today? The head priest sent word to me that men dressed in black had snuck into the Forbidden Temple. I needed to rush there and did not have time to inform you, my liege. They are the survivors of the followers once led by Mei Zhang. 5 years ago, the former king and I exterminated all the followers of the dragon god here in Ung. It has been a long while since I have last heard about any of them. The smell of blood is getting stronger as we get closer to the temple. Lying in front of the temple gates, next to some trees, are 2 corpses covered in hay. The tattoos on the face of the man in black look almost identical to the sacred seal on my chest. Oh, here's another one. He was in the intro. My Liege. An elegant and delicate-looking youth steps out of the temple. It is the head priest. This is the head priest? Excuse me? It is nothing serious. I'm sorry to have worried you, my liege. It would have been difficult for the guards to suspect a thing. The invaders were followers of the dragon god. They came in the middle of the night, in a group, and used magic to infiltrate Tiger Hill. It was then that I saw 3 men dressed in black assaulting a teenager and a warrior. The other 2 took the teenager and escaped. The warrior's clothing is different from that of the Ung's army. I believe the kidnapped teenager is the missing officer, and this warrior was his bodyguard. If they are trying to infiltrate the Forbidden Temple, they must be attempting to undo the spell that has sealed the dragon god. It would still feel better if we could see it for ourselves. Prime Minister, we want you to chase down the 2 intruders and rescue the archival officer.
臣会亲自去寻。
I will personally go and find him. Chanfeng, I want you to help the Prime Minister.
诺。
Understood. I still love how the understood is no. Just no. Prime Minister, when you get back, we would like more details on why you think the King of Yu has murdered someone. There are no signs that anyone has entered the sword pond. It takes the 2 of us to open it after all, so even if the invaders had come here, they would not have been able to get in. Ever since the dragon god was sealed here 5 years ago, its resentment and hatred has infected the atmosphere to a great extent. Such chilling air is not good for you, my liege, and you should not linger here for too long. Shengdong writes a spell in the air. The swords that were staked in the ground around the altar part to form a very narrow pathway. I approach the square ding and stroke it softly. Not only does the ding hold the resentment and hatred of the dragon god, it also holds that of my own feelings and those who've died. This is... We both turn pale as we touch the crack on the ding. Although it is a very thin crack, it spans the entire belly of the ding, and its edges are turning black. My liege, you are scaring yourself. The sealing spell that was originally cast upon the dragon god has borrowed its power from the ding itself. That was only a means to an end. As the years pass, it is expected that the ding is now worse for wear. We need only make the best use of our time and find a sacred artifact that will exterminate the soul of the dragon god. Then the sacred ding will be as good as new. I tenderly stroke the crack as my father's final moments come to my mind all too vividly. Zishu, our 3 sons were killed by the dragon god at Lake Tai. Akali is the only one left. For the past 2 years, she has borrowed her 3rd brother's name, Fuchai, and has been taught by you. Now the sacred seal that has also been passed on to her, and our life is coming to an end. The survival of the kingdom of will now depend on you. There's a long crack in the sacred ding. We don't know if it is the doing of the dragon god's followers or if the sealing spell is wearing off. It would be hard to get to the ding through the sword pond with just 3 followers. Is the Prime Minister trying to suggest that the dragon god's followers did not come here to break the sealing spell? Unless the real goal was to kidnap the archival officer? That is a possibility. They must still resent us for executing their followers and burning down their temples. Kidnapping the archival officer was probably their way of taking revenge. If we refuse to meet their demands, they may still kill the victim and cause a break in diplomatic relations between and Qi. My liege, I have found traces of the insurgents on the south side of the temple around the Crane Stream. Good, we will personally go and cut off their heads. My liege, your health. We are fine, but to be on the safe side, we would like to rely on you to safeguard the temple. From a quiet spring flows a tranquil stream. A few white cranes feed leisurely by its side. Gazing at this peaceful scenery, one might not think of the bloodshed that had happened here just a night ago. After examining the bloody tracks, I have determined that the insurgents split up and went in 2 different directions. Since the intruder is injured, it would be easier to hide among the masses and find an opportunity to leave Gusu. Oh, we got our first choice. Okay, where are we going? Where are we going? Who of these 2 do we want to appease? Sis, do you like Jiangfeng? Is that what I'm hearing? So we got 1 for the north. What else we got? What else we got? Help me out, folks. So we got 3 for north and 1 for south. So it looks like we're going north. We follow the trail to Moon Lake. No trace of blood, no matter how small, can escape Shangfeng's eyes. Find us a few people who are familiar with this area while we search the shores of the lake. My liege, there is an underwater current over there. Are they crazy? How can they take a hostage down an underwater current? They are not ordinary people. That is fair. We dive under the water where the bubbles are coming, and a pulling force instantly propels us forward. I cannot see what is ahead of me, so all I can do is relax my body and let the currents pull me forward. We walk out of the cave and find ourselves in a vast, luscious, secret forest. The loud chirps of insects rise and fall as we take in our surroundings. Soon I see a young girl holding an unconscious boy in her arms as she looks at us with tears in her eyes. Please save us. My younger brother and I came to this forest to pick herbs, We didn't expect a wild boar would attack us. I fell and hurt my legs as I tried to escape, and my brother hit his head. It's going to be fine. Let me help you up.
小的心肠真好。
You are too kind. I smile at the girl, but as I step towards her, she takes her hands out of her sleeves. Xiongfeng stands right behind her as he coldly stabs her right through the chest. The girl falls to the ground. From her outstretched hand, a retractable blade rolls out in my direction. What a boring trick. The younger brother who hit his head would be the kidnapped archival officer, right? We dare not let our guard down as we approach the comatose youth. The youth is wearing simple clothes, but they are more refined than a commoner's. He has thin shoulders, a slender waist, and a face that is no larger than my palm. Rather than a delicate youth, it might be far more convincing to say that he is a girl who had just turned 15. This mysterious girl does not show any sign of waking up. We don't know if it's from an injury, or if she has been drugged. My liege, this child is holding on to something. She's clutching a dagger under her sleeves. The guard of the dagger is covered with an intricate design of a bird with precious stones for eyes. An uncomfortable feeling washes over me. I reach out to take the inauspicious dagger away from the girl, but when I touch it, ugh, my chest, oof. My liege. It hurts so badly. She's just like, ah! We're into chapter 2! So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up here for the evening, because my voice is starting to seriously give out.